I've got something really cool and kind of gross. But bacteria.
Ew.
What do you guys know about bacteria? What do you guys know?
I know they're germs.
Nothing else.
Um, I mean, I don't know. Not enough.
Okay, so bacteria basically, they are the things that get inside of us and cause infections, but we actually live with a lot of it. Bacteria actually outnumbers the cells in our body 10 to 1. So technically, we are more bacteria than we are cells of our own body.
So what is okay?
Okay, hold on. This gets better. So, even though this is true, only the bacteria only makes up about 2% of our overall body mass. So, like a large can of soup, picture that just chock full of bacteria, and that's what's inside of you.
Ew.
Now, that 2%, though, interestingly enough, accounts for more than 50% of all of your waste. So, all the waste coming out of you through your pores, through your butt, through everything, most of the waste that's coming out is due to bacteria. And as a matter of fact, in 2011, North Carolina State University, they did a biodiversity study on students' belly buttons. And they found 1,400 different kinds of bacteria living in about 95% of the participants' belly buttons. 662 of those strains of bacteria were unidentified. So, stuff that they hadn't even seen before.
So quit shoving things in there. That's disgusting.
That you know, it didn't break it down based on this guy's dirtier than this
Well,
guy.
I
I'm
always
assuming
thought I
that.
always thought Audis were disgusting and they needed to be slaughtered. But
Well,
now Audis don't
if you
sound so
have
bad.
an innie, make sure that when you're in the shower, you get that water right up in that innie. You know. Um, so anyway, back to the
Ew,
bacteria.
a wet innie. That just sounds disgusting.
Moving forward.
Sorry.
Moving forward, the reason that I'm bringing this up is because bacteria live in your gut, and this is really important because in your stomach, in your digestive tract, you have kind of a mini brain or almost its own central nervous system. It actually has the same type of neurotransmitters that your brain has. And what'll happen is that when you eat food, the nervous center in your digestive system will send signals along the vagus nerve up into your brain and tell you that it's time to stop eating or tell you that you eat more, right?
I, I just want to point out I have a really big vagus nerve in my brain.
Well, it's running
because
through your body.
he's played a lot of craps.
um,
We're like
so,
5-year-olds. Jesus.
Hey there.
but
Maybe
but
that's
but
my problem. Go on.
but
Sorry.
the interesting thing here is that okay, so you've heard before that you start craving sweets because your stomach is telling your body that you need more sugar in your body, right?
Okay.
Okay, that's debunked. That's not true at all. What they're starting to discover is that bacteria are what is dictating what you want to eat. The bacteria are telling your stomach what it wants, and therefore you're eating based on what these outside things that are not part of your body. They're manipulating your nervous system in your stomach to tell you to eat more of this or more of that or just eat more, period.
Mm-hmm.
So they're looking into this right now, and the reason that that's important is because bacteria could be the reason that some people eat too many sweets or are overweight.
So,
So,
is there a way to like limit the amount of bacteria that you have that does this?
well, here's one of the things that happens to people, particularly if they're on stronger antibiotics, is that you kill the bacteria that are inside your body, and a lot of that bacteria is actually beneficial to you because it allows you to eat certain foods or handle certain foods. People who are lactose intolerant, they're saying that that comes back to bacteria again. So when you take a whole lot of antibiotics and you kill all that bacteria, your gut is just basically it's clean now, and you need to get that bacteria going back in there, which is why they tell you like to eat some yogurt or something after you've been on antibiotics, so you can start getting all of those beneficial bacterial colonies going in there again. Um, but when let me see here, who was it? Is Washington University? They did a study where they took the bacteria out of lab mice, and or was it rats, mice, rats, whatever, rodents. So they took the bacteria out of their guts, and then they put bacteria into the guts of the one group, and that bacteria was from an obese person. And then they took the bacteria out of another group, and they put in the bacteria from a thin person. And then they fed them the same amounts of food. And the rats that had the bacteria from the obese person gained more weight than the ones that had the bacteria from the thin person, even though they were fed the same amount of food.
What?
Right. So this gets into what you had just hinted at, fecal transplants. So what they did with those rats is after they discovered that the rats that would had the obese bacteria gained more weight, they took the bacteria from the lean rats, the rats that had the thin bacteria, put the poop of those rats into the fat rats, and those fat rats changed their eating habits and lost weight.
And this was on Vice like a week or two ago, right?
On Vice.
But that was for disease.
Yeah, they talked about it for C. diff. C. diff is a bacterial imbalance in your intestines that causes inflammation. About 250,000 people get it each year, and about 14,000 people die from it. And what they were doing was they were taking the healthy poop out of other people, and they were putting it into these people that had the C. diff, and it was getting rid of their C. diff. And right now they're actually studying using this technique to get rid of Crohn's disease, irritable bowel syndrome, various metabolic diseases. And they're even thinking that this can help with allergies, autoimmune disorders, and even psychiatric disorders and cancer.
So, and I remember from Vice, they said that their ultimate goal is to obviously put this into an injection type form or a pill, so we're not having to siphon shit.
I mean, I'm just curious. So that they put it back in the digestive tract, basically, and just let it do its thing?
They give you like an enema with it, right?
Right. That's what they're doing right now. Is they?
Okay. That makes a lot more sense than what I was.
And there's people.
Oh no, you weren't thinking that they were like, here, drink this.
No.
Okay,
I just didn't know.
He was hoping.
It's a bit nutty. What was it, Austin Powers?
I mean, no. It's. I'm glad they figured something out like that. I had seen articles. I just wasn't aware of how the procedure kind of went down. But it's like a suppository kind of thing.
Well, I mean, right now they're doing an enema, so they like stick a tube up there, and then they inject like a liquid form of it up in there. But they process it so that they get rid of a lot of the waste product and a lot of anything that would cause you any sort of harm. But yeah, ultimately, I had read that they're hoping that they can get this into like a pill form where they'll have the bacteria crushed up inside of a capsule that you can swallow. But I'm going to pay attention to this because I think that this is one of those types of innovations where people are thinking obviously outside of the box.
Right.
I know that pharmaceutical companies would probably hate this because there's not a way for them to monetize it, because I can go up to you and go, hey man, you've never had this, right? Let me have some of your shit. Because people in Seattle are doing that right now.
Right. There was a guy, I believe in Washington, that was getting it from his neighbor. His neighbor would save it for him. And
right.
He would go and inject it. They have this whole thing. You just look like you want to shake your head, Alex. Yeah, they filmed the whole thing. It's disgusting, but it's like...
No, it's not. It's amazing that we figured out that's what it takes. It's interesting, I guess, probably like you said, that, I mean, they haven't figured out a... It's in cleaner way to handle it, but
stages.
Yeah. It's. I mean, obviously I'm for any kind of medical breakthrough, and if that's the shit that it takes,